welcome to my channel GreenLion Goddess Tarot. This is your daily reading for the 18th of May 2022. Just as it's going on dusk here, it's all nice and still. And that's what I was getting actually when I was meditating on the energy that was coming in for this reading. I got this sense of stillness and peace. And just finally being able to go, okay, I'm at peace with something now, which is actually a really, really beautiful energy, because I think that this full moon has really taken you through some stuff. I mean, some of you have felt that peace already, but that is what's kind of the Two of Cups, the card of love. Okay, so love coming through and connection, feeling more connected, which is a nice energy to come through. I don't know about you guys, but I had some crazy dreams last night, like really intense dreams. Page of Wands. And I love those sort of dreams. They really get you sense that they're letting you know something on a deep soul level. The Five of Cups, something that you've potentially let go of here. You're stepping with this Page of Wands, you're thinking about starting something new, which is exciting. You're starting to get a bit excited about something. And there's a sense of leaving some old energies behind, some old emotional energies that have been kind of released. And we have the Seven of Swords at the base, and we have the Two of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Okay, so there's this sense of inner resolve that's coming through, something that you potentially were undecided about, or something that you potentially were unsure about or hesitant to step into. So perhaps there was a misunderstanding, maybe there's a deeper understanding of conflict that was in your life, where it was like finally there's this higher perspective of really understanding somebody else's point of view and kind of seeing both sides, which creates a clarity inside of you. There's a sense here of just an inner knowing. Potentially there's very clear communication that's coming through something that I feel like the air has been cleared, which is good, so that, and this is inside of you where you can now communicate really clearly, with somebody, with a partnership. And so I do feel like you're potentially making new plans, trying to kind of step into an energy of freedom, but it's kind of like at the moment, just take the moment to pause and be still and to be where you're at this moment in time. That's really the energy I'm getting with this, is that it has this sense that they're of peace being brought in due to a higher understanding of some earthly conflicts. So it's this spiritual peace that comes in, and it's like you'll be able to see things clearly from a higher perspective, and it gives this sense of inner resolve that is, even though it's a sense of, knowing that you're about to step into something new or you're thinking about something new, I don't necessarily feel like you're doing it yet. It's just knowing that it's there and the potential is there is kind of enough at this moment in time. So, yeah, it's an interesting energy, because kind of I feel like how I feel energetically is actually different to what the cards are saying, which is unusual, doesn't usually happen this way. And what it's showing me is that there's this higher energy, this highest perspective, which is very different to what's actually happening in the details of the day-to-day, dynamics of relationships, especially if there's been any kind of loss or sadness or unhappiness or conflict that's been around. It's like that's down there and it's there, but up here you can see things from it, everything feels different. So it feels like there's very, two different energies that are going on here. There's the earthly plane, and then there's the higher spiritual plane, and there seems to be, it's like something on the earthly plane doesn't make sense anymore. Once you come up to spirit, you feel the peace, but down here you're kind of like, what was that all about? It doesn't make sense anymore. It's like it doesn't resonate. There's a sense of detachment, being quite detached from things and just going, what was that all about? Why did I care? Why did I care about all of that? And so, yeah, it's I think there's a kind of a big shift and readjustment as to your perspective as to where something's at, or in terms of a deeper understanding as well, like in terms of this higher spiritual vantage point. It really feels like you're able to kind of see things from that point now, and strangely, some things don't make sense. Some things that bothered you down here, up here, it's like, why? Why there's no conflict up in this space? So it kind of, I feel like what they're showing me is that some energies are dissolving where there's been conflict. So interesting. And this is part of the bigger, it's the same energy that's happening. It's just evolving over time, over the, it's been like probably about a week that this has been happening. And it just feels like there's energies that are just dissolving away, that are static or have conflict. So, I mean, everybody's going to be feeling different with this energy. Like I said, it's very deep energy. The Five of Cups is that you could be feeling quite sad. Some of you could be feeling a bit down as well. So, especially around, it's kind of like maybe some of you are feeling like you want to get motivated and get excited about something, but there's, some feelings that are getting in the way as well. And so you sort of, this is if you're they're kind of showing me now down in the earthly plane. I'm down on the earthly plane now, so I'm reading the cards now, whereas before I was just up there. So now it's kind of like, for some of you, and you can be in two different places, it just depends on who you are and how you're connecting to these energies. But for some of you, this Five of Cups is, it can be quite an intense emotional energy that you might be feeling that is bringing some hesitation up, so maybe some fears and doubts about something or someone in particular, just feeling a bit like, I don't know if I can move forward with something, it just feels like there's just this big emotional energy which is kind of sapping some of your motivation to kind of move, sapping some of your fire, just because it needs to kind of be felt and processed as well. But I do think it's good having the Queen of Swords as like the last card that's coming in, because this is where you get your head above those clouds of fear and doubt. You kind of pick yourself back up again. Even though you're still feeling those energies, it's like life must go on, and I need to kind of, there's this sense of resolve, and I need to keep at this. I need to keep on with this. So, a lot of very, very different energies here coming in. So it feels different depending on where you're connecting to and how you're feeling as well. So, and I feel like there's a sense of like, we're talking about like some very deep emotional energies and psychological energies that you're moving through at this moment in time. But it's kind of saying there's also the opportunity after you do a lot of that to find this sense of peace. But the Queen of Swords is more like having a clear head about just everything. So, it's a mixed bag of energy. And like I could say, it's it just feels like this real divide between the energy that's happening up here in spirit and the energy that's happening down in the earth realm. And some of you may be able to experience and feel that very differently. It's an interesting energy to go through. But this Five of Cups is kind of speaking of a loss, a mourning of something that has passed, that is over. And it's asking you to acknowledge that as well, for some of you who are feeling this intensely, but also to be able to not stay in that energy for too long, and to be able to, at some point, find that bridge to the present, that there are things that you can still build upon, in particular these two cups here that are standing here in the Five of Cups. And we can see we've got the Two of Cups here. So there is actually a really nice relationship or connection, or some really nice like love and relationship energy here to build upon. And there is future growth coming in with that. So like I said, a very mixed bag of energy. And the Seven Swords is like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in the past, 1 foot into the present. And it's like just traversing the energies. That's what it feels like over the whole time we've been talking about this energy, is that it's just moving through a lot of energies and, trying to kind of process a lot of different timelines. So, that's it. So that's the energy. We'll see how it moves. It will eventually move through this. It still feels quite dense and intense, the energy, but we'll see where this is all heading tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining me.